Alright, that's enough. If I kept playing, they're going to give me some problems, maybe. Hey, YouTube, don't give me any problems. Alright. Hey, man. One Punch Man workout t-shirt I got on right now. Just a reminder to go back and look at the other episode. And not pretty last, driving a truck. Yeah. Welcome to Candid Travels Texas. Okay, so today I want to share with the ATX iTech family the Midtensity interval tactic. Okay, let me explain what that is. Okay, if you talk to any ethical neuroscientist, all right, in my opinion, they will have mental reservations about the high intensity interval training, which is what they call HIIT, HIIT training. I mean, it's very, very popular right now. They're telling all kinds of people, do it, young, old. Hey, everybody, go get a heart attack. All right. Okay, so, all right. So for those of you who don't know, it's very popular right now, okay, along with a lot of things like intermittent fasting, which, when done properly, that's good, all right? But this high-intensity interval training, I think the reason why it's popular, well, I don't think I know, it's because it works really quickly. You do that, and you just feel this surge, you know? It's like drinking a really strong cup of coffee with, like, Vivarin and no doses in it, okay? And those are old terms for like pills, caffeine pills, all right? For those of you who don't know what a no dose or a Vivarin is, okay? So, you know, it works. Right after you do high intensity interval training, what is that? That's like sprinting like your ass off, and then your heart's beating like crazy, and then you rest, right? Then you do it again. Or you go, you're like, you know, like you're doing this, you know, this, what do you call it? A lot of powerlifting, deadlifts, that type of thing. Now, there is benefit for that sometimes. And even with the Wim Hof method, when you're holding your breath for a long period of time, and then you breathe out, right? You do your 30 breaths, you hold, okay, there's a little bit of that, the heart rate goes up. However, the difference is with the Wim Hof, you're laying down, you're in repose, you're not physically moving around. So anyway, in ATX iTech, we have something called the Midtensity. Oh,
I didn't even
Saitama came back.
I didn't even push anything.
I know you didn't. That's so weird. All right, so as I was saying, if you really did this like in the anime cartoon, in the manga, that would be kind of like considered a high intensity interval training. Now, I wouldn't recommend that, because you do 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, 100 squats, and run, 2.7 kilometers all in one time. That's pretty high intensity, all right? Then you're pooped, and you're just going to, like, not do anything until the next day, which is what he did. Okay, it is a form of HIIT training, or high-intensity interval training. Now, look back on the episode from 3-4 weeks ago, where I demonstrated in Saitama's Opai sweatshirt, dressed as him, the internal One Punch Man training, where you get the same neurological benefits. So there's one episode, the first one shows the push-ups, 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, and 100 squats, how to do that. And then the second one shows how you would do the run. You really do cover that mileage, okay? And it's a way you can do it. Compliments inspired by Chi running, as instructed and created by Danny Dreyer. He's a U.S. Army vet, which we have an episode on that. Look back. It's called Elmo from Sesame Street Goes Chi Running. It's real way back, okay? And you'll get to meet Danny Dreyer and see him actually lecture to us in person. Go back real far on this channel. It should still be there. It's one of the ones that I guess had a lot of people because it was, it's Chi running. So now you can use Chi running. There's other ways. As long as you're moving forward, skateboarding, you want the neurological benefit for the training. Okay, so now this is what I'm calling the mid-MID-tensity instead of intensity, right? I-N, right? M-I-D-T-E-N-S-I-T-Y, mid-tensity. Yeah, my baby brother was the national U.S. spelling bee champion. Larry. Hey, if you're watching, Larry, which I know you're probably not, shout out to you. He's too busy being a big shot. He could spell better than any of us. All right. Yeah, he was in the international papers and stuff because he was this kid from Houston area, Houston, Texas. Anyway. All right, so, you know who he is now? Nah, you guys don't know. It's a kid spelling bee. All right. So anyway, mid-tensity interval tactic. Now, what that means is if it's a mid-tensity rather than an intense, you don't want to be like that, right? You're in the middle level of mid-tensity, and so your training is not going to be quite as short. It's going to be a little bit longer, but you're not at no tensity and frickin' long term. So you want a mid-tensity interval training, which means you rest. You never get to the point, and in Danny Dreyer's Chi Running, I'm going to give credit where credit is due. Read his book. He talks about when you're doing Chi running and long distance running, you never want to get to the point where you cannot speak comfortably to the person next to you. Okay? So you don't even need a heart monitor. That's ridiculous, okay? Because your heart rate goes up and down all the time. And when you have an external contraption measuring something that is not mechanistic, we are not mechanistic people. We are organic individuals, right? So you use how you feel. You use, are you able to speak comfortably while you are running? So Allison and I, when we do Chi walking or Chi running, we may cover 3 times the distance than the average person without having to be out of breath and without getting joint pain and all that. So it's a mid-tensity type of a thing. So mid-tensity interval training is not HIIT. You know what? How would that be, what do you call it? What kind of symbols or lettering would that be? It's a high-intensity interval training. It's HIIT, right? H-I-T-T. Mid-tensity interval tactic. Mid-tensity interval tactic. That's MIT. MIT. Hey, guys, my friends who graduated from MIT, shout out to you. Roger, Innes. Hey, Innes, you watch. I know you're watching this. Okay. All right, man. Thanks for the invite to visit with you in Dubai. Maybe one day. But you can always come back to Houston. Anyway. All right. So, anyway, mid-tensity interval tactic. So you want to do everything in a way where you're in the middle, and then you also don't want to keep going too long. You want to feel comfortable. You want to finish any type of training or movement with this feeling of like just feeling good, man. Without having to feel like you drank 10 cups of coffee with no doses in each one, So I understand that they think that exercise is going to lose weight and you're going to get your six-pack abs. Hey, I have six-pack abs and I don't do any of those things. I never have. Okay? And in most all martial arts, look, martial arts is not just about fighting, which although the number one purpose is tactical defense. It's being able to defend yourself and such, okay? So what you want to do is understand that almost most all martial arts is not HIIT training. All right? It's very, very popular right now. Like, even if you look at the One Punch Man character, he's always chilling. Do you see him training like crazy? No. Compared to some of like these training montages from the movies from the 1980s, where there was, hey Sly, how you doing? I know you watch. Anyway, whether it's a Rocky movie or let's say, I don't know, like a Steven Seagal film, or, you know, like where they have these training montages. And you know, the only action star from that period of time that didn't have like crazy training montages where they're like killing themselves to work out real hard, as far as I can remember, is the man who shaved his beard at age 80 because he was going through midlife crisis. Chuck Norris! Chuck Norris movies. Hey, I know you're watching. All right. Chuck Norris movies are, yeah, because you watch everything, remember? Chuck Norris is the eyes of Texas that are upon you all the livelong day, okay? So his movies, I don't really see him going through really hardcore training montages in his action movies back in the day, right? Actually, Bruce Lee, I'm trying to think. No, they don't have hardcore training montages. I think Sly has a lot of those. Jean-Claude Van Damme, the movie script, had a lot of those hardcore training montages. And then I think one movie, Steven Seagal. These are all old movies for you old guys that watch these old action films from like 30 years ago. I love them. I think they're very entertaining. But remember, it's entertainment. Yeah, this is entertainment too, you and I right now, but it's called infotainment. We're in 2020 and this is infotainment. Okay, by the way, do you love my hillbilly teeth? I love my hillbilly teeth. I'm so grateful that I never got braces. My teeth are stronger now. Sorry guys who have gotten braces. If you just leave it alone and drink your distilled water, your teeth will grow back crooked and it'll be stronger than ever. Anyway, so in the Chuck Norris movies that I remember, he never has a hardcore training montage. He does martial arts, and Bruce Lee as well. I'm thinking like Bruce Lee. He never, in any of his real movies, the ones that he's in, not the Bruce ploitation. I'm not talking about the guys that played Bruce Lee and showed what Bruce Lee did in his real life. I'm talking about the actual Bruce Lee movies where he played a character. Okay. And they're mostly period pieces, except for one or two, I think two. But they never show him training real hardcore. They show him doing his forms, his kata, you know. So martial arts in general is very good mid-tensity interval tactic. It's a mid-tensity interval tactic. Now, instead of high-intensity interval training. So mid-tensity interval training tactics. So it's MIT, M-I-T-T. Mitt Romney? No. M-I-T-T. Okay. So that was for all the political fans, right? You got to be old to know who these people are. Okay. So anyway, yeah, so mid-tensity interval training tactic. I'm going to call it mid-intensity interval tactic. MIT, M-I-T, okay? Now, that's not just for training. It's also for when you are going through life. So it's not just when you're like, you feel like I'm training in martial arts or whatever. By the way, it is now 86 degrees. Yeah. Okay, so you want to get to, like, let's say if you're running or walking, you want to be able to have a conversation with the person next with you without being out of breath. Now, if you're doing some breathing and Qigong, you go, shh, shh, whoa, you can do all kinds of that stuff, right? You can still talk. Like I just did that, right? Like Wim Hof has this thing, if you're cold or how you go, right? You can, even though I'm doing that, I can still talk to you. I'm not going to be like out of breath or whatever. So that's mid-intensity interval training. Mid-intensity interval training. Mid-intensity interval training. All right. Now, that is a better measure than just putting a heart rate monitor on you. I mean, you can do that if you want to spend the money, you know, on one of these things, you know, like that measure your heart rate all the time. But I'll be honest with you, man. If you're staring at that thing, you're staring at this thing, you're staring at this monitor, and you're seeing your heart rate go up and down and up and down, you're going to be anxious, and your heart rate's going to fluctuate out of the emotional anxiety, okay? It's not really necessary. What you need to do is just make sure you can talk and you feel okay. You breathe. This is actually a real good test to see if you have a lung problem, man, okay? Hey, this is a what is the word that people used to use? This is a current events thing for everyone out there on the world. Okay, you want to make sure you don't have any lung problems. You breathe in. Now that was 10 minutes. I counted on my fingers. Or 10 seconds, not 10 minutes. Yeah, that's stuffing your underwear right there. Okay. Anyway, this is not a kid's show, right? So, and even so, they will know what I'm talking about. Okay, that was 10 seconds. If you can breathe in and hold your breath for 10 seconds, and you don't cough, you know, like a, then you might, then you have a problem. But if you can go, hold your breath for 10 seconds and then breathe out, then you have no lung problems. Okay. If you're really into this diagnosis thing, all right? But just good sense. Use your good sense. So mid-intensity. Well, now I just cut it short. I call it mid-tense. Mid-tensity interval tactic. Now, in internal arts and Tai Chi, we have terminology where we talk about evenness, right? Empty, full, empty, full, empty, full, empty, full. So if you guys would like to know more about that, always just comment below. But mo better, send an email if you have questions, prayer requests, whatever, to drliualohaliu@gmail.com. It's private. No one's going to see it unless you tell me to forward it to everyone else. Okay. And we have a lot of people that do that. And like Master Wong would say, it's no problem. It's good. All right. So that's the terrible Master Wong.
That was pretty bad.
That was pretty bad. Okay. Love you, Master Wong in the UK. All right. Anyway, Justin Scard did a really good Master Wong impression when he went to Disney World. All right. Okay. Okay. So mid-tensity literally means even. You want to make yourself even. All right. Mid-tensity interval. So you want that interval going. All right, so where are we going today?
I'm trying to go to the Wildflower, but I think I got off too soon.
She got off too soon because I wasn't here to tell her, right?
Well,
no, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Traffic.
Look at all that. Look at that convertible Mercedes from California. We're having more and more of them showing up here. We're at Slaughter Lane. And, yeah, what is it called? We're going to the Lady Bird Johnson.
It's called a silent walk. It's kind of like
silent walk.
Quiet clubbing, but different.
Okay, so you wear these things.
Walking amongst
now, I don't know if you guys will see too much because it's now, it's like a sunset night walk. And it starts at 6:30, so I don't know if we'll make it or not. But wildflower season has begun. Last week's episode, you saw the beginning of the yellow wildflowers blooming in our front yard that I planted in the winter. It's the first season that I actually planted wildflowers in the front yard, and they took really well. And so we hopefully will see some ones that they've planted like years and years ago. So once the seeds, from what I understand, once again, I am not a botanist. So one of the things I'm not an expert at, I'm now Gregor Mendel. Gregor Mendel was a priest, a Catholic priest who had a doctorate in botany. which was a kind of a hero of mine when I was a kid. When I was a kid, I did a report on him, and I thought he was one of the most brilliant guys. He's a pioneer in genetics. Okay, now that part, neuroscience-wise and genetics, I know about that, but I'm talking about botany in itself, just like plants. I'm not an expert on the different kinds of plants. So anyway, so from what I understand, if the seed have gone in and it's regular, it'll bloom sooner, because I planted ours in the front yard, just a bunch of seed. I showed you the bag last episode or last week, and it's taken really well. It's growing, man. It's exciting to watch that grow. And I didn't water it or nothing. I didn't fertilize it, and that's the beauty of a place like Central Texas, where we have really harsh weather. So people who are from elsewhere that have fair weather, they sometimes don't stay after 2 or 3 decades. Yeah, we had a bunch of people from Northern California come to Central Texas, especially Austin, and build so many things. In fact, the houses in the neighborhood we're in right now, the actual house we're in right now, is not the one I grew up in, but it was built like by Northern Californians in the late 1990s. And those people all left, I think, because our next door neighbor, who was the original owner, were there when we were here. They didn't live there, but they owned it. They sold it, and it's gone to a couple from Chicago. Now we have quite a few people from Chicago who move here to Texas, who are Texans now, generations back. New York, we have a lot of New Yorkers here, a lot of people from England. We have a lot of people who are from Vietnam, who are Texans that came here 3-4 decades ago. Because of the war, they didn't want to live in tyranny, so they came to Texas. So, a lot of people here from other places, but the people that I've seen that are from like really fair climated areas. By the way, Hawaii is kind of seems fair, but there's tsunamis and volcanoes, man. Okay, I lived there. It's not as, like, it's cool if you're visiting, but if you actually live there in Hawaii, there are tons of things like tsunamis, there's volcanic eruptions or radiation, there's tropical storms, there's also seaweed that sometimes the currents, they flow into your island and it smells like crap for a lot of time. You wouldn't know, because if you go to the tourist area, you wouldn't know. All right, so anybody who's Hawaiian will know what I'm talking about. So that's why we have Hawaiians that have moved to Central Texas decades ago, and they're now Texans. So anyway, yeah, this is Candid Travels Texas, so I'm telling you about Texas, right? All right. Okay, so I'm going to look at all of this traffic. So we got lots of people here. Nobody is shutting stuff down. Everybody's happy. Okay, there isn't anything going on here with like distress right now. Hopefully, trustfully, prayerfully, it'll stay that way. All right. So when we get to Lady Bird Wildflower Center, I will say howdy and see if there's any light to show you all this walk. Mid-tensity interval tactic. Yeah. All right, we're on our way. The traffic is freed up. Look at how green it is. Hey, it's okay, Mr. Nelson. You can listen to Mr. Nelson, but we got to turn him off a bit, or we're gonna like get flagged by YouTube.
Yeah, you probably already did.
Okay, no, okay, okay. One punch. Okay, there you go. Look at this. How beautiful is that? It's so green here right now. We are in the Ides of March. No, it's not Ides, is it? What does Ides mean? Do you remember your old English?
Isn't that March 13th?
Well, we're almost there, actually.
Isn't it?
I don't know.
I don't remember.
Let's look. You will look it up.
It has to do
Actually,
with
I learned it at one time. I'm being silly.
When Caesar was stabbed by Brutus.
From Shakespeare. Okay, yeah. So it's really, really green right now, as you can see. And look, all the kids are out playing. Yeah, we're all here. So I know, and the prayers go out to everyone out in other parts of the continental U.S. and in Europe, and of course China, who are going through challenges right now. We pray for you. We just want you to know that we are praying for you, and that you can pray yourself and seek out the God of the universe and find value in that. Like, a few years ago in Houston, we had a horrible challenge here with Hurricane Harvey, and so, hang in there, and it'll make you stronger if you just see it as just energy, Yeah, so love you guys, and we did have some things cancel here. We had South by Southwest, which is an international media conference. Because so many people are from somewhere else, and their places have been locked down. They have travel bans, so that has been canceled. But in terms of grocery stores, we're running pretty normal so far. Okay, I think Texas, we're a little different because we're internally functional. We have, all our resources are from within ourselves. And if you look back at our past episodes where I may have explained, I did explain how Texas, we are a Lone Star state. We have a separate constitution with a secession clause in it in agreement with the U.S. federal government. We're the only state that has that. That's why we are allowed to legally fly Six Flags. Okay, whereas the Six Flags of Texas, as well as we can fly our Texas flag on a separate pole at the same height as a U.S. flag. No other state's allowed to do that legally. So anyway, we have all of our stuff that's internal. We're not dependent as much on other states for things. So that might be why we're doing pretty good right now, while there's other parts of the United States of America that is kind of suffering. So anyway, our hearts go out to you. We are praying. I don't want to seem nonchalant at this point, but mid-tensity interval tactic. Basically, stay the middle road, Don't go extremes. And one last thing about mid-tensity interval training is internal tactics is all about one's immune system. When you do high-intensity interval training, guys, it will depress your immune system. And your immune system and your endocrine, your hormonal system is what keeps you young. It keeps whatever's out there that's bad for you, and it keeps that from, I thought you said you didn't need the GPS. That's how I would have used the GPS, see? Because it'll tell you how to get out of here.
No, it's not going to help.
But she likes to figure out stuff alone. That's the way she is. And I watch and I'm amused. Like, we go to the grocery store, I just ask, hey, where do I get this? She likes to look in the aisle. She likes this. So it's fun. I'm having fun. This is why it's called Candid Travels, because you don't know where the heck Allison's going to drive. And that's part of the fun. To me, it's part of the fun. But look, you can kind of see spring is beginning here. So by May, for sure, here the flu season is done. So so everybody, I want you to know that we're sending you love, aloha, from Texas. Okay, all right, man. We're all one family. We all got to pray together and stick together. Okay, I'm turning it back on once we get near there. Allison found it. Without GPS. Yeah. Mid-tensity, man. So I'm going to keep saying this. MIT. Hit interval. There's the sign for the center. Okay, there's still some light. We'll try to show you all what we see. Okay, we can't let you hear what we hear because they're going to put these headsets around our ears. Okay, it's called a silent walk?
Yes, silent walk.
Yeah, so we can't talk to each other. We're going to have these headsets around with what? Elevator music?
Like piano music?
Piano music and stuff. We're going to walk around. And this is all really good. It helps promote the preservation of the wildflowers here in Central Texas so we don't overbuild, Anyway, so once again, you do not want to do too much of this high-intensity interval training because your immune system will be challenged. And I don't care if you're young or if you're old, but if you're an older person with pre-existing medical conditions, it's definitely going to be something you don't want to do. okay? Or anyone. I wouldn't recommend anyone to do it, old, young, whatever, okay? So martial arts is fantastic, okay? Yeah, okay. I know the background thinking about that is, oh, you know, well, hey, man, you know, in nature we run away from predators, okay? So that's a high intensity, right? But does that happen daily? No. You don't have a saber-toothed tiger trying to eat you every frickin' day, okay? It doesn't. Most of the time we are just relaxed. Oh, here's a couple flowers. We're just in the parking lot. Look, she's trying to get in. We're all like trying to figure out where to park.
It's completely crowded.
Well, we'll find something.
That's
You'll
rare
make parking. Yeah, everybody likes it. We're not shutting stuff down here in Texas, you know. If it was all shut down, you wouldn't see nothing here. Everybody. All right, we're here. One punch! We made it. All right. Listen to that. Midtensity, interval tactic. Midtensity, interval tactic. Exit only. All right, we're a little late. Let's see if we can get in and show y'all something. You look ready. Check out this Texan. Okashi Snack Trucks Strange Wars. Yeah. The moment I put the headsets on, no talking. Welcome. I love this. This isn't nice.
Yay,
There's a couple blue bonnets there. They're coming up. They're starting to come up. Are you happy?
I am.
Yeah, I'm happy. It's called happiness. Yeah, well, last week's episode was the money root tactic. You can be rich and be happy. You gotta go to 1 Timothy chapter 6. Verse 10. I'll say it again. Or just watch last week's episode over and over again, and you'll get it. We're back. How are we going to get our tickets? They close?
Oh, we just go inside.
Oh,
Like
okay.
the courtyard area.
Okay. We paid online.
Yeah.
All right.
No, it's free.
Oh, it's free. Well, we didn't pay online. It's free. Here we are. Mind Travel. That's the company, right?
Yep.
That they put these headsets on. You put these headsets on, and then you'll hear. Oh, here we go. Texas Wildflower Central. That's just a. Wow. How beautiful is that? Love that. Okay, I love this pool. It's so clear. Check out some of the Action Kid videos where he's in Taiwan and the water is like this clear in the ocean. Cool. Okay. No more talking once I put these headsets on. Only still photos. Wildflower. Yeah, we have tons of this at our house. We always have.
I like how you brought your own headphones.
Yeah, you don't know.
All right. Yes, at Candid Travels Texas. There's no more talking now. Just still photos of what I can get. Okay. All right. In here with the DJI.
I'm from New York.
I know, but New York was the. I'm from New York too.
Oh.
Well, not. I mean, originally, but Texas was started by people from New York.
Oh.
Yeah. Anyway, nice. So I have a Mavic Pro. Okay, we found out that the group. I thought we were told to follow this gentleman. Well, yeah. So I have a Mavic Pro. What's this?
Mavic Mini.
Mini. Okay, so that's better than what I got. Because the Pro's larger. I almost bought this one. But I haven't been really using my
I prefer
drones.
the Mavic Pro.
Really?
Yeah. The reason
Nice.
I don't have it because I crashed it.
Oh. Well, I haven't been using mine. I might sell it for cheap if you want it. Okay. Oh, Luke. Okay, so which way are we supposed to go?
I'm trying to find them.
Let's see if you guys can hear this guide in my
Oh,
headset.
they're coming this way actually.
They're coming this
Yeah,
way?
I can
Okay.
send you a drone.
All right, so you're covering the event, right?
Yep.
Okay. Cool. I love it, man. You remember, go back to our episodes where I actually flew my Mavic in the kitchen and didn't crash it. It was pretty. Okay, so we got, our group is here. So from this moment on, I'm turning off this video, just still photos, and we will, I'll do whatever I can until the still photos. All right, thanks for joining us at Candid Travels Texas. Like, subscribe. Each step, its own arrival. Right here. Oh, yeah. Switch the headphone to the blue so we can hear the concert. It's on blue now. Music time. Thanks for joining us on the silent walk at the Wildflower Center. Send us prayers, questions, comments, DRLIU, ALOHALIU at gmail.com. Aloha from Texas.